right now to capture the buyer's commission and or maybe save a lot of money or buy the house in a why is this not working? Oh man. Oh, because it's already there. Okay, so you can probably see that. Let me take this banner down and let's get going. So I've really started off poorly, so just disturb me. Now, I'm going to pick a house in Poway. This is how we're going to go about saving a lot of money. Now, I live in Poway, so let's just start off with a competitive market. We'll just put this into $1 million, and we'll start unknown, or low, below $1 million. And let's say I picked this one before in a video I just messed up, so we'll pick this one so I don't know anything about it. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I want to go to the listing agent directly, and it's telling me right here she's a listing agent. Now, either something changed at Zillow or they've actually accepted the criticism, because I've been hammering this in some videos, that you don't want to work with buyer's agents in this market, these people. You want to prove to yourself that it is the listing agent, and here it says listing provided by Coldwell Banker Yeka St. John. I don't know how to say her name, but it says she's the listing agent. So that's great. Now, why is that great? Well, this property's only been on the market 6 days on Zillow. It doesn't have the Zestimate on here. Okay, now sometimes some brokerages are like, I don't want to see the Zestimate, and you're going to have to do some work to price it. But let's say that 539. Well, let's compare this property, 665. I think this one was under the Zestimate. And there, so you see what I'm talking about. Sometimes they show you the Zestimate 680. So this was only on the market for 2 days. And my thought on this property was that I would not think that I could work with a buyer's agent yet on this property. I know there's a good chance if I call Mark up, he's the listing agent, he's going to say, look, we're going to be looking at offer. We have an open house this weekend. We're not going to decide on any offers until Sunday night or Monday night because he's priced the property below this estimate. I'm sure when you get there, they're going to say, look, we've priced this to sell. This is starting bids or starting offers. We're going to look at all the offers on Sunday night. We're going to look at the top few. We're going to get back to everybody and give you a chance to purchase this house. I mean, that's how I would run that. And therefore, if I wanted to buy this home, I would seriously want to be able to pitch in some or all of the buyer's commission towards this listing agent to get the information I needed to purchase this property. I've discussed in the previous video why it's not always, in fact, it probably would not be unethical for this buyer's agent to want to work with a buyer that they had control over. Because as buyer's agents, we don't want to work with flaky lenders, that lenders aren't giving us information. I don't want, when there's a buyer's issue, like I want to help. This is a strong market. I don't want to miss out on the first deal. My sellers are relying on me to help them move on with their lives, get the money, purchase another home, or whatever they're doing with the money. And hiccups don't look great. Maybe they'll allow me one hiccup, but not two. So I don't want to take chances. And let's say your buyer is a stretch and isn't going to get the property. There's something wrong. They might not approve. They work for themselves. Buyers lenders frequently give pre-approval letters and even DUs very quickly, and then they hold things up when they think they're actually going to have to fund, and all of a sudden they come up with this line, oh, we're just sending it through quality check that's taking a few days, and they're like, oh, they didn't work through quality check, but we're gonna work on this. And then the buyer's like, can we move in early and rent it back? And the seller's like, no, I need to buy another property. I need to go down with my life. I have pending obligations that I'm going to be pursuing because they're trying to move on with their lives. So there's lots of reasons to work with a buyer directly. And in this case, early on, in a first-time home buyer price range, I know that's kind of high, but that's what this is, or a move-up buyer from somewhere else, I'm willing to bet that most buyers are going to be severely compromised if they're working with a buyer's agent. I mean, if I'm buying this home, the first thing I'm doing is, hey, Mark, are you working with any buyers right now? If you found me to be a strong buyer, I got my information over to you and I was going to offer this price. Would you agree to work with me exclusively for 48 hours and not present other offers from your buyers to the seller so I have the best chance of buying this home? okay, could you tell me where the offers are in terms of price? Where am I going to have to be to get this home? What is the seller looking at? I mean, there's conversations that you can have with the listing agent. Now, some agents are going to say, I can't tell you any of these things, just make an offer, because that's what realtor ethics demand. I say you're dealing with a sub-thinking human being at that stage, right? Those are automatons trained by their brokerages to not do their best for their sellers, to not do their best, but to avoid any possibility ever of being sued, right? Because if I'm in that situation, I'm talking, hey, sellers, I have so many people offering, so many people buying, that I want to tell people we've already got 2 or 3 people, some look very strong and well qualified at the listing price or above, and I don't want to jerk those people around, but I want other people to know if they want a chance, they've got to go significantly higher or higher. Now, how is that unethical? You're informing the buyer or the buyer's agent of the situation rather than wasting their time. You're protecting your seller because you've got some buyers in your estimate, they're going to perform at these prices. Why would that be unethical? Yet I hear it consistently, whether it's on the net, whether people call me after they're like, my listing agent totally messed up. We had multiple offers. She said highest and best, or he said highest and best, and they all went away because we didn't run it properly. So it's not unethical if your seller is well advised. And as a buyer or buyer's agent, look, that's the reality of the market. The reality is, if you spent a few hours drafting an offer that was already beat by 50 grand from a similar buyer, would you want to waste your time? I mean, how is that unethical? So let's just move on. The reality is, you need to work with this process of, and I'm telling you, if you want to buy the home, you have to understand that you want to get that information before you decide to work with a buyer's agent or a listing agent. Now, in the next video, we can do this in every price range. I can tell you that I did this in a previous video. When I went up to 1.5 million, I would give you the opposite advice sometimes. So let's see if I can find that home, because I happen to know it, because my wife was looking at it, and she came back and gave me, I think I put 900 in here. So let me put 900 to 1.5 million. And I'm not saying we were going to 1.5 million, because we were not. But we said this property's been on the market a long time. We drove down the street. My wife wanted to know why 184 days. I almost think it was cheaper, because I know this isn't our price range. But it's big. It's beautiful. Look at the backyard. We have a nice backyard already, and this would be an upgrade. It's on a cul-de-sac. Well, it turns out that I suspect, because of where it's located, right here next to Titan Way, there is either annoying traffic or noise from the traffic. And there was also, for a long time, on Espola, they've been having, ridiculous backup in traffic, because they are trying to widen the lanes so Poway can put in some low-income housing that many in the community are against, because the roads are clogged. So the town council, who for some reason feel very motivated to do what the people don't want them to do, they're like, well, we'll try to fix that traffic situation so people can. It's a long story, but there's a reason this house is now. If it's only because of the traffic, I'd be a buyer, because I could put up with a year of that for this house. If there's noise, I'd be a buyer at a much lower price probably, and my wife wouldn't be. So that's that. Now, but what's the story? The story is some agents, like Suzanne, do a lot of marketing in Poway, and they have some listings in some luxury areas, and there's pockets along the waters in Rancho Santa Fe, in Fairbanks Ranch, in certain neighborhoods in Carmel Valley, in Carlsbad. There'll be a listing agent that controls 50, 60, 70% of the listings. Those, if you determine that they're not working with a buyer right now, and they've been on the market for a while, and there's no offers now, I would work with a buyer's agent on these luxury homes. So one, I could make good decisions. Like I've already explained the issue here. You want to know someone who's got experience in the area to help you make good decisions about which properties to be interested in. And two, you might want to drive home offers to the buyer. Like listing agents sometimes don't want to take low ball offers. They advise their sellers not to do it. I would put together, if I were a buyer agent in that situation where I think that there's a stack of houses and the listing agent will ruin her stack, his or her stack if she accepts an offer down here, because then every home tumbles down in price or has bad comps. I would try to make a very persuasive offer where I was explaining the situation, why, because of all the houses on the market, if the price has to come down, how to beat the stack. I would want to, why my buyer is a great buyer, don't worry about the stack, you must make this. I would make that part of my offer. I'd make sure my letter of valuation was put in there and see if I could shake it loose. I might not be able to, but that's what a buyer could do for you in certain circumstances. So there may be time to work with buyer's agents. The good news is, if you're a well-prepared buyer working with a buyer's agent, it's very easy, especially if you were working with me or some entrepreneurial agent anywhere in the country, to refer you out to a buyer's agent. Now, how do you know who the experienced buyer's agents are? I will talk about that in further training. How do you find those buyer's agents? Because it's not necessarily the listing agent that controls the property. I'll talk about that in further training. It'll be the next 1 or 2 videos. So go to winnerscheck.com/buyer. Let's see if I have that over here. winnerscheck.com/buyer. Oh, here it is. Go here. And, well, I'm supposed to cut to the other screen, but I already did this. winnerscheck.com/buyer. And you'll get a free 10-part video series on how to buy in 2019, how to save 2 or 3% going directly to the listing agent, how to easily share part of the buyer's commission otherwise, and then how to be a winning bidder in a multiple offer situation. That's among the training. All right, thanks. Talk to you later. John McConnin, winnerscheck.com/buyer. Now, it's important to go to buyer because that's where the series is. Otherwise, you're going to see something about solar homes on the front page right now, and eventually maybe an offer to set up a consult. But we're not really at the consult stage yet, because first, I don't see the point, because until we know what your market's like, until you have the luxury of working with this buyer's agent, there's really no reason to work with me directly unless it's one of my listings. And I don't even want to refer you out unless you're prepared to understand that some houses you're going to lose out on by not going to the listing agent directly. winnerscheck.com/buyer for the free training. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.